Page of Pentacles. Either you or someone in your energy is working on executing, activating plans around finances and improving your finances. You've stumbled onto a plan that is not only good, equitable, there's sustainability involved in these financial developments that are going on. So that's great. Justice. Things are balancing out. Something to do with courts and money. However, things are working out in your favor and are almost coming to an end. You're almost coming to an end. So whatever workload that you've been carrying, it's been a lot, but you're carrying it well and you're almost home. See that? You're almost home. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. You're almost there. Don't let anything trip you up or get in your way. At this point, it's really important to lock in and get the rest of the way there. Bottom of the deck, the moon shows that the path forward, you might feel like a little lost sometimes. And you have to trust yourself. You really have to trust yourself to stay on the path that you're having trouble seeing. There's like going to be a little bit of light here and there. There's also going to be a couple of things along the path that you probably want to avoid. Do a good enough job of keeping your wits about you as you make your way forward. Page of Swords, which sits really well with the Page of Cups. So now we're talking about being ready for this next stage. It's like all of this is to prepare for this activation that you have coming up. I'm seeing there's maybe a bit of apprehension. There's like a little bit of clouded judgment perhaps, but you're feeling very determined and very brave and sure of yourself. And so here's some confirmation. Queen of Wands, you're really wanting to make things happen, and you do have the capacity to do so. Oh, here he's back again. He came back. He said, he wants to be permanently part of the spread. So the moon is a big part of this. So it's really, you really have to trust your intuition to keep your footing, keep your wits about you, and understand that there is going to be a lot of duality and uncertainty through this journey. Perhaps after you get here, you're really looking ahead this way, right? And so you're preparing for that journey, and it's really important for you to be prepared. So maybe that's why there's some clouds here, because it's like not everything is clear, right? And so you're going to need this sword, and you're going to need that bravery moving forward on this journey, because occasionally you are going to run into a wolf. Occasionally you are going to run into, a coyote. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be things along the way that are going to distract you, that are going to threaten you. You're going to need to know how to avoid them, how to deal with them, how to protect yourself from them, and how to disengage with them and get back on the path and keep moving towards your goal and not lose too much time or energy on the obstacles that are meant to slow you down from getting. If you look really closely, the path goes all the way up and over the mountain. You need to get up and over this mountain. That's where we're at, okay? And you're doing it. You're doing it. Queen of Wands shows that you have in your mind your skill set and who you are as a person. It's within your capacity to achieve, okay? So you can trust yourself. If anything, know that you can trust yourself and be brave. Yep. So sitting right underneath the 10 of Wands, we have the 9 of Wands. How interesting. Right now you're getting ready. So let's say, part of this is that these are to help build prepare, defend. These are your magic wands that you are collecting for your journey, and you're going to need them. You're going to need all of these tools, right? So this is about being ready, being prepared. You went through a lot to get these wands, and perhaps had a more difficult time and got your ass handed to you a couple more times than you were planning. But you got them. You got them and you brought them home. Okay? And they're yours now. They're yours to use. So it's important sometimes that when we have this and we are kind of like, fuck, like he's like bandaged up. He's like, fuck, man, was this worth it? It was. It was. Okay? Because when you get here, if you don't have your wands, bro, like, you're fucked. Okay? So you're going to need your sword. You're going to need those wands too. The swords are going to help you say no. The swords are there to help you say no. The wands are there to help you know that you can decide yes. That's really how that works. Now, protect yourself as you go into this. Know that you are going to need to be tough emotionally. All right, you're going to have to make the decision to be emotionally stronger, because this is not the type of place where you want to lay down and cry for an extended period of time. You need to get up and over that mountain. You can cry when you get there, okay? You can cry for 3 days when you get there, but you cannot cry for 3 days here, okay? Because the wolves will find you. You do not have enough wands or enough swords to lay down and rest for an extended period of time in this journey. This is really about pushing through, because you're trying to get to the comfort. Every time you feel yourself wanting to give up, you're on this journey, you're like, I'm tired, Grandpa. Well, that's just too damn bad. Because guess what? You have to keep in mind how close you are. You might not see it, but you're almost there. Maybe you can't see it because all of the work that you have to do is in the way of seeing beyond that with your mind's eye, right? And when you've got all of the work in the way and you're distracted by how the work feels in your body, you might accidentally give up too soon. You might imagine putting all those down. How long do you think it took them to get them like that? Putting all them down for a rest, turning around and realizing that you were almost there. Now, what if you can't really put them all? What if something happens and for some reason he can't get back to this momentum to finish the trip? What if? What if he hurts himself? What if he loses one of the wands? What if one of them breaks? Okay, keep that momentum forward. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by taking extended breaks to coddle your physical comforts or your emotional reactions for too long. Your feelings are valid, but you have got to hold it down. You got to hold it down. All right? Let's see what else. Page of Wands. Damn, dude. Okay, so we got the Page of Pentacles. Right underneath that is Page of Swords. I'm doing rows of 3, 3, 3. So Page of Pentacles, underneath that Page of Swords. Line 3, we're starting strong with the Page of Wands. This is a good reading, y'all. Good for you. Okay, so you are feeling confident in your ability to wield these wands. You're feeling like you got some good wands. These wands, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do you see my wands? He's looking at this wand and he's thinking, that's a good wand. I'm ready to cross the desert with some mucklucks on. You know? So you're feeling really, really ready. You're draped in gold for this journey. Like you're feeling a level of confidence. So this is good. This you're feeling good about activating. You're feeling tired about how you had to go about acquiring what you need for this journey. And you might feel uncertain because this is a new leg of your journey. Of course, if you've never been that way, you don't know which houses have dogs and no fence. You just don't know. You don't know where the crackhead in the neighborhood lives and what time of day they usually come out of the house singing and dancing. We don't know. So you're going to have to know what that means and find out along the way, and then quickly be whipping out your wand and be like, back! Get back! You know what I'm saying? Like Lord of the Rings. You're a wizard, Frodo. 4 of Cups. You right now are distracted. There's a missing piece here. And you don't realize that you have it. You don't realize it. There's something being offered to you, but it's not being offered to you in the way that you're typically accustomed to. You have to do the work to turn around and realize that it's there, and it's also a fucking sweet option, dude. And can you imagine? Like, what is the end result of never turning around? Just like, what if he just got up from here and went home and never turned around and acknowledged that cup? Do you know how offended that spirit arm would be? They'd be like, Nick, fuck you. Fuck you. I'll never offer you a cup again. You know what I mean? Like, don't fumble. Spirit arm offerings. Oh, hello. Hello. Bottom of the deck is getting loud. Who's this? Is that the 10 of Cups? Why, yes, it is. You are currently manifesting a very beautiful life for yourself. As long as you are making sure not to get tunnel vision. Sometimes unsolicited advice is not speaking fear. Sometimes it's just observations. Take what fits and leave what doesn't, you know? Don't get caught up in the emotional reaction of the information offering. It's just information. If they're being a bitch, just pretend they don't exist. Take the information and leave the bitch alone, all right? You might not know where this cup is, so just be open. Don't get tunnel vision. Don't be closed-minded. Now is not the time to be closed-minded. Now is the time to be open-minded and to make sure that you understand who you are as much as possible and how your wands work as much as possible. Last card. Ooh, baby. Ooh. Ooh. We got the 5 of Swords. Okay, so I manifested this, I feel like, because I just said if somebody's being a bitch, then leave the bitch alone. So, yeah. Take the information, leave the bitch. Let them walk away. This is like a reminder to you to be mindful of how you're interacting in conflict, because depending on your reaction to whatever conflict, it can make your journey shorter or longer, let's say, for reasons. And sometimes, like, we don't know the backstory here. We don't know who the aggressor was. And that's another very important thing to keep in mind as we journey into these new levels of our life, is not letting the stress and anxiety of these journeys cause us to be so heightened that we view things as a conflict when they're not, and start fights and say things we don't mean, or take small conflicts and and, you know, escalate them and cause people to walk away. Okay? So he won, and he seems to be pretty proud of himself. He also is keeping all the swords. Like, he won, you know? But this card is not really like a card exactly of victory. It's like victory at what cost, though, you know? So just be mindful, because some victories are not as sweet as they feel like they might be when you're thinking of it ahead of time, okay? The Hermit, to round it off, this is about you. This is your journey. Okay? You have to be alone. You have to be alone for this journey. This is you going it alone. And maybe that's why we're getting things like the Moon and the Two of Swords. It's really a lot of the uncertainty that you're feeling coming forward or going through this journey might be around the fact that you feel alone and you feel lonely. However, the Hermit is not necessarily about like loneliness. It's about solitude and you know, very much enjoying your loneliness as well, and using it as a time to grow and to connect with yourself, connect with your journey, rewire all of these inner pathways in our mind, you know, from our ideas to our values to our plans. You know what I mean? Like keeping all those things wired and connected and looking within and making sure we're not losing the plot. But all in all, I think this is really capping it off to tell you that you can trust yourself. You have enough wisdom to take this journey safely alone and enjoying your loneliness and enjoying your solitude, I should say. Enjoying your solitude. You are emotionally and mentally strong enough to get there, to get yourself there.